Hi, everybody, and welcome to All Day Tea Party. I'm your host, Zenobia Goodman, and here we're going to figure life out together, ask the big questions, and learn more about ourselves, all while making sure not to take ourselves too seriously in the process. All right, so I am coming live from my couch. I'm on the couch alone this time, but that's okay. It's great. We're going to have a great time. I'm really, really excited for today's episode. Okay, so we are just going to dive right into some housekeeping stuff. This is the final episode of 2023. I'm really excited. I'm glad that I started this podcast. It's been an amazing experience. I've had so much fun doing it. I feel as if time has gone on, I've gotten better at like podcasting in general. And then we've added the camera and we have all kinds of social media. And I don't know, I'm very happy with where I'm at. I'm very happy with how this has progressed. And I'm super, super grateful that I even had the opportunity to do this. So there's that. However, we will be back in January. Don't fret. We will be back. I just thought it would be a good idea to take a break for the holidays. I'm going back home for Christmas and for New Year. So I thought this would be a really good opportunity to just rest, focus on me, focus on what I kind of want to get done within by the end of the year and just doing that. So yeah. And obviously just like spending time with my family and my friends and like kind of giving that part of my life my undivided attention, which I feel like I haven't really been able to do lately. But do not fret, you will still get your Zenobia fix during this break. Don't worry about that. I definitely plan on doing more like day in the life content on our TikTok just because, like I said, I want you guys to be able to keep up with me. And I also we'll continue to be posting on the Instagram, kind of updating you guys on what is going on during the hiatus. I'm not telling you guys when because it's going to be a surprise, honestly, because I don't even know when, but there's going to be like a longer form YouTube vlog at some point during this hiatus. So be on the lookout for that. I'm really excited to share that with you guys. Overall, I think this is just going to be a really fun and relaxing time, but you guys will still be able to get your Zenobia fix, which I know you guys are all sad about potentially not having that. I get it. I really do. But anyways, so again, keep up with us on TikTok at adtp.pod. I think that's the same handle as the Instagram. Keep up with us on the YouTube channel, which is ADTP Podcast, I believe, and all of that. Everything is in the link tree in the bio on the Instagram. If you forget the name of handles and stuff like that, or if you want to listen to the most recent episode or whatever it is that you want to do, you can usually find it on the link tree. And then obviously you can keep up with us on socials. So let's get into the weekly updates. What's been going on in the world of Zenobia? I have been putting a lot of my energy these days into applying for grad school. So I started doing that. The application process is in full force. I got my letters of recommendation, my transcripts. I've been like working heavy on those personal statements and those mini essays and stuff. And I feel like I'm in a really good spot. The first application, which is honestly my top school, is due the 15th of January. So I'm working my way through that. I feel really good about it. It's just very time consuming and it requires a lot of focus, obviously. But I'm having a good time. I think that because I'm really excited about the program that I'm applying for, I don't want to say it's easier to write personal statements, but I'm having an easier time like articulating like what I want to do, like career-wise, academically, moving forward in these personal statements, which I feel like one is really good because that makes writing them kind of come to me easier, but also I think is a really good indication of like the fact that this is the right thing. You know what I mean? Like I'm going in the right direction at this point in time. So I've been doing that. I've been honestly, it's just a lot of work. I've been taking like some of my lunch breaks when I work to fill out my application and stuff like that. But overall, like I'm in a pretty good spot. It's just a matter of doing it. I feel good. I feel really good about it. So there's that. Next up on our weekly updates, I'm going home on Thursday. So by the time this episode comes out, I will already be home. So I've just been trying to run a bunch of errands and just make sure the apartment's together, clean the apartment, like pack, whatever. I'm trying to be good this time and not pack the night before, which I have been doing, but it just ends up like I end up tossing things in a suitcase and packing, one, way too much, two, I will literally get to my parents' house and be like, oh, I didn't pack like half the things I actually needed because I was so stressed out, trying to pack so quickly. So I actually started packing last night, which I'm really proud of myself because that gives me 3 days of wiggle room. So I've been doing that. I've been running errands. I finished a book that I've been meaning to finish for so long. For any of you guys that are interested, it is called The Fortunes of Jaded Women. It was so good. It had me a little emotional at times. It was a really, really good book. I appreciated it. I honestly think that if you're in any form of reading slump, I would recommend reading that because it jolts you right up. But I started reading another book last night, which I'm really excited about. I've been really trying to get into my reading era, but I used to read a lot of memoirs and nonfiction and stuff like that. But I just want to read for funsies these days. So that is exactly what I've been doing. To go to the library before I leave for home so I can get another book to read. Anyways, what's up next? Oh, this past weekend was my roommate's birthday weekend. So we had a lot of fun. We just went out on the town. We went to a drag brunch, which was so much fun. I had the best time. Again, out on the town, great time, 10 out of 10 content, would totally do again. Love a birthday weekend. But that's it for my weekly updates. Yeah, things have been really good. Yeah, I'm living a very calm and peaceful life. So I will take it over any other thing. So next we do Court is in Session, but we're kind of skipping that over. We're skipping over that today because I'm more excited for the episode and I don't really have anything to go to court for. But one little note, so the winter solstice is coming up and which is also happens to be the darkest day of the year, I believe. So I think that it's either the 21st or the 22nd. But the reason that is important is because I remember 3 or 4 episodes, we discussed seasonal depression and stuff like that. And, kind of how the fact that it gets dark so early is kind of not the vibe. But this is good because that means after December 21st, every day after that, it's going to start getting lighter earlier and earlier. So we're going to be getting more daylight. No, yeah, it's going to start getting lighter earlier and earlier. Yes, I was right. Yeah, so we're going to be getting more daylight, which is really exciting. I'm still going to continue taking my vitamin D supplement, but overall, more sun is to come, which I think is great. And I'm really excited. Transition back into sunshine. #war is over. I'm really, really excited. Okay. For Court is in Session. Now we're going to get right into the episode, which I'm so excited to share with you guys. If y'all remember, a little while back, I had an episode called Just Like Magic, and it was just like magic, question mark, actually. And we talked about manifesting, goal setting, stuff like that, kind of the whole dream reality business. And I said at the time that it would be a multiple part series, and I didn't commit to when the second one would come out. But here we are. It's coming out today. It's right now, actually. This is the part 2 of that episode. I'm really excited to talk about it, but not this year. Today, we're focusing more on New Year's resolutions, kind of that transition from December back to January, and that, like I said, transition period. We're going to talk about goal setting, vision boards, New Year's resolutions, as they're called, and stuff like that. So super, super excited to get into this episode. I'm going to walk you guys through how this is going to go. All right. So we're going to talk about why this is such a great time of year. We're going to talk about the more toxic side of things and how that can be very overwhelming. We're going to talk next about how to prepare for our vision board. We are going to talk a little bit about just prep for the new year in general and kind of how I'm prepping. I don't want to say how I recommend, but because I think everybody's different, but kind of things that are kind of get the gears turning for me and, kind of elicit those feelings that I feel that bring me to a place that I am able to properly like write down my goals and everything. Next, we're going to talk about different kinds of like manifesting for the new year. If you don't exactly like to do a vision board, and like different ways that I like to reflect. And I'm going to give you guys a little surprise. And then instead of an I'm rattled, we're going to do a what I'm looking forward to in 2024. And then we're going to conclude. So that's the rest of the episode. That's exactly how this is going to go. I always put the timestamps in the show notes, so feel free to skip around and let's get right into it. So, I love this time of year, and and when I say this time of year, I'm not even exactly talking about the holidays. I'm talking about that like week between Christmas and New Year's. Like I think it is such a beautiful time. I think Christmas can be very stressful. It can be a lot, but I think after that week, the dust is kind of settling, and it really, like before New Year's, it's more about like, okay, what am I doing for New Year's? What fun is coming up? What exciting things are happening? Stuff like that. So I feel like it's a really good period of time to reflect. So that's why I really like it. I love the idea of like new opportunities, that feeling of like being refreshed. It's like post-holiday season, like, okay, like we've got all that stress gone. We've done all the family hangouts. We've done all the gift exchange, stuff like that. Like we're done there, like time to just relax and focus on me. And I think that's what I really enjoy about this period of time. I try not to look at the end of the year as something to dread or that is a full stop. Like, you know what I mean? Like it is a transition. It is not a full stop. I'm going to say that multiple times during this episode. Like, it's not like you full stop at 11:59 on January 1st and then you pick back up. Like, no, it is a transition. It is a flow. And I think every day leading up to it should just feel as seamless and as peaceful as possible. So that is why I like this time of year. However, I do think that there is a little pocket of, I don't want to just say society or like social media or whatever, that makes this time of year like really stressful. So like not only this time of year, but leading into January, like, I remember there's always that discourse over like, oh, New Year's resolutions, like you got to write all these down, you got to do all these things and blah, 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 blah. And it can just be like I said, super, super stressful for no reason, honestly. I believe that like the long list of things you need to do can be super overwhelming. And I think everybody, a lot of content creators or whatever it is, everybody's throwing a list at you, but nobody wants to caveat that like it is kind of up to you and that these things aren't required. Like, I think that there's this idea that, like, I think that, like, this time of year, you should exercise your own agency and do you. And don't worry about what anybody else is telling you to do or how else anybody's telling you to manifest your dream reality or like prepare for the new year or stuff like that. Like, honestly, you don't even have to listen to things I'm telling you. Like, it's literally all about you. Like, curate all of this to you. And I think a lot of the times, like, we can forget that. And I don't think that's helpful. So that's the big thing. And like I said before, like, this is all about transitions. Like, you should not feel overwhelmed. This should be a very peaceful time. Like, it's seamless. Like, do not let these people stress you out and make, like, you know what I mean? Like, and do not let these people get a check based off of your stress. Okay, so that was kind of like the stressful part of it, but I'm going to talk about vision boards. I've literally talked about this before, but I am going to talk about vision boards more specifically catered to the new year. I personally make multiple vision boards a year. So I have my New Year's one, and then kind of whenever I'm like, I get that little itch to make a new one. Like, I'm not exactly on a schedule. Like, so I had my New Year's one, and then I made another one in like April, May-ish, because I was like, okay, transition period. Let's reflect. Let's do this again. And then I made my last one in like August, September-ish, because I was like, again, transition, take some time to reflect, sit down, do it again. So definitely I don't view vision boards as something that are, like one and done. Like, I don't view them like that. And I think not viewing them as like this is it. Like, this is my only chance to put every single goal I have in this little board is not helpful. And I think the idea that like you can just change it around and that your priorities change just makes it like, it makes it feel more peaceful, and it takes the pressure off, which I think is super important, because again, you should feel very at peace during this time. This is not a stressful period under any circumstances. Another, like, basically the way I feel about vision boards is like they are a guide. Like they are just kind of a guide to like, okay, what do I want? Like, to me, the way I view them, it's like, this is a product of my reflecting. You know what I mean? It's like what I want, what I think is important to me at this point in time, and stuff like that. And obviously that's going to change. And I think that, you know, as that changes, update your vision board. Easy. So much fun. One thing that I do, and this might be a little superstitious, just a little bit, but I never show people my like most recent vision board until most of like the pictures or like things that I have on the board have kind of come to fruition. Does that make sense? As in like, so for example, I posted 3 of my vision boards, my like 3 from this year, on the Instagram. I felt comfortable doing that because I was like, oh, those 3, I'm good. Like a new one's coming up. I feel good to go. Like, you know, those things are still important to me, but I feel like I've moved past that. I've transitioned past that. However, my like most current vision board, I never ever share. I'll explain further. As in like, I'll show it to you and be like, oh, this is my vision board, like whatever. But I will never, ever explain it to anybody in depth. Like I will not like go through each picture and be like, oh, like on this side I want this and on this side I want this, and like explain. Like, no, you get a glance and that's about it. Like I said, like this might be a little superstitious, but like I just think that like like people project energy, and you know, you don't know who's walking around with negative energy, and who's trying to like, you know what I mean? Like who's out to get you. And that's not to be like that's not to be like paranoid, but it's like people like bring certain energies to situations. Like that's the beginning and end of it. And you never know anybody's true intentions. And even if you think like you can really trust this person, maybe not. You know what I mean? So it's like, yes, you can get a glance at it. I'm not going to gatekeep, but like I'm not going to explain it to you in depth and stuff like that. So that's something that I do with my vision boards that are a guide. And I'm not saying that like everybody has to do this, but that's just something that I find that like is important for me to do. Okay, but before you even get into like creating the vision board itself, I think that like reflecting is really important. I think the like 10 to 12 days before New Year's are like super important to me. I think that like I said, prep starts way before that even happens. Like lots and lots of reflection. And in the form of like, when I say reflecting, I don't think like, okay, we're just sitting in a room and we're thinking about things that happen and like things that like we want and stuff like that. Like for me, it's like more in depth than that. And I think that like it's really great to have your vision boards and stuff, but something that has like helped me is like writing and having different like journal prompts for like the next 10 to 12 days. And after doing that like journal prompt at night or during the day or whenever you decide to do that, then I add to my vision board. You know what I mean? Like you catch my drift. So that's something that like I will be doing. And like being in a positive state of mind is also super important. Like you cannot manifest when your nervous system is activated. So it's again super important to be like, okay, positive state of mind. Like I'm feeling good. I'm not like, this is not the time of year for any mess. Like, no. Like that is just not like, this is just not the time. And I don't think, and like I said, I think that in order to just like kind of move forward with your goals and stuff like that, it is so important to be not only in a positive mind, but like a positive space around positive people. Like anything that is not serving you, it is time to let that go within the next 10 to 12 days. And I mean it. And I know I talked about like reflecting and some journal prompts, but I will just give you guys like a couple examples. Like I think one that like I'm going to do is like, you know, your wins and losses of 2023. So like one day you talk about your wins, next day you talk about your losses, and then kind of like what you want to do from there. And you can do like little prompts, like your favorite moments, like things you learned this year, like stuff like just like an array of topics and things that like will genuinely have you think about your year. Not like what happened this year, like genuinely like doing a deep dive into the year, how you've progressed, what's gone on with you. And then I think from there, you can really reflect and come up with like goals and kind of where you want things to go. And like as you're doing, like for me, like as I'm doing these prompts and stuff like that, I will be updating my vision board. Like it's giving yourself inspiration through being able to think critically about the year that just passed, because a lot can happen in a year. Like I was in a totally different place and mindset January 2023 versus now. Like if I talked to January 2023 Zenobia, she'd be like, well, okay, some things she wouldn't be that surprised about, I'm going to be honest. But other things she'd be like, damn, like we did that. Like, that's great. Like, good for you. So, like a lot takes place in a year, and I think you need to honor that, which is why I'm like, vision board should be a process, and like, you know, reflecting on your year isn't just a one day like sit down, because like I said, it was an entire year. Like that's 12 months. Like, oh my gosh. And so kind of something else I did like in preparation. So I've mentioned this before, but I have been like in my spirituality era. Like I've always kind of like, you know, I've listened to astrology, like I knew when the retrogrades were, like I paid attention to that kind of stuff, but I never really like entered that like space when it came to like psychics and Reiki and stuff like that. And then around this past like April or May, I just found myself like really interested in it. I was like, you know what? Like I'm really interested in like doing energy work like for myself and stuff like that, and just like learning more about that and everything like that. So I got really into that. I learned more about Reiki. I ended up getting a Reiki massage. I absolutely loved it. Would recommend it to everyone. And I also would see a psychic every once in a while. And you guys can watch the little like vlog of me going to the psychic and talking more about that on both the TikTok and the Instagram. But I started like going to a psychic. I found a really nice place in like Quincy, Mass, if you guys live in the area. If not, I'm sure there's other great psychics in your area. But like I said, like I'll go. I don't go like very often, like every few months I'll go and like get my cards read. And I think it's really important. And the last time I went to the psychic was, I want to say, beginning of October, late September, maybe. Yeah, that was the last time I went. And I just, you know, I do like little pulse check. Like, what's the universe pulse check? I know right now we are going through a retrograde, and this past summer was insane astrologically. So I definitely went more during the summer, but I know we're going through another retrograde. Great, wonderful. I feel like I'm in a great space, like spiritually. Like, this is totally off topic, and we'll get back to the psychic, but retrogrades don't scare me anymore. I think that the idea of like a Mercury retrograde or like a Venus retrograde and stuff like that, it can be like really negative. Like, oh my God, that's so scary. Like people in your life are coming back, stuff like that. And I'm like, people only come back during retrograde, one, if y'all have unfinished business, or two, like if there is something you're not learning. So to me, I'm like, okay, the retrograde might be a little intense, but like it's going to teach me something, and I'm going to learn more about myself. And I will be able to, and hopefully like be able to close a chapter in the universe. And because I'm a very firm believer in like, if you don't sort your shit out in this life, you're going to have to do it in the next. So I would just personally rather sort it out in this life and move forward and just have my soul be at rest in the next life as much as it can be. Anyways, so back to, so retrograde's going on now, whatever. I ended up going to the psychic today, actually. And I told myself, I was like, okay, definitely want to go before I start like, you know, my big like focus grind for the next like 10 to 12 days. And I also want to go before I record the pod. So and I've said this before, like I always love to come to the podcast and record in like a good state of mind, just feeling like ready to go. So I ended up going today. I had like an amazing reading, And the reason I wanted to go was, like I said, I just wanted an opportunity to, the reason I wanted to go, was I wanted an opportunity to just get a pulse check, like get a universe pulse check, like going into the next year. And this is a little, again, and like I said, this is a little superstitious of me, but I don't think that I will be sharing what I was told at the psychic. It was an amazing reading. I had a great time. I felt that my reader and I really connected. It was great. But I don't think I don't feel comfortable like sharing, because I think that it's between like you and your spirituality, and like your spirituality is your own business. And I know that like some psychics recommend not talking about it. I have talked about it in the past with like other readings, and maybe that was on me, but this one I just feel like was really important to me, and I feel good about it. So I will not be sharing, but I definitely recommend maybe just getting a spirituality pulse check. Okay, so I've kind of alluded to the idea of like wanting the next few 10 to 12 days to be like about focus. And I've said this before, like, being in a positive headspace, stuff like that. I think it's really, and like I mentioned, the journal prompts. So that's something like I'm really going to be focusing on within the next few days, like doing different journal prompts. I did this last year and I had like little goals of mine. Maybe I'll share a couple ideas with you guys. Obviously, I said this earlier, like this is totally up to you. Like you don't have to listen to me. Honestly, I would advise curating this to you. And like this is just stuff that I'm doing. I think the prompt that I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to talk about like my favorite moments during 2023 and reflect on that, because I think I'm also going to start my vision board tonight and kind of want to start that on a high note and start there. And again, more reflection. I really think like this next little while, I want to just read my book and relax and hang out with my friends, hang out with my family. Like just, it's like a big like prep time, very big relaxation time. And like, I've obviously have like, practiced a lot of like good habits and stuff like that, but I just want to like keep maintaining that, keep that energy going, keep the good vibes going. Yeah, why don't we keep these good vibes going? Yeah, so that's what I really want to focus on. A couple things that, again, I don't know what it is about the new year, but I'm just like weirdly superstitious. So I'll give you guys a couple notes on things I will not be doing during this period of time. And I think maybe it'll be helpful for you guys too. Number one, I will not be listening to any sad music. No, like it's positive vibes, positive music only. Again, I will share my manifestation playlist with you guys. Number two, I will not be engaging. Like I will not be engaging in any drama and any mess and any just like anything of the sort. I will not be engaging. I will be pulling a Meredith Marks and not engaging is what I'm doing. Like I said, I want to surround myself with positive energy, and like nothing is getting between that at this point in my life. Number three, I will be prioritizing self-care like crazy. I feel like, okay, maybe I'm a little bit of a material girl, but naturally I love to shop. I love skincare. I love like spending money on myself. So this kind of comes naturally to me, but I also I want to prioritize not just self-care in like the physical sense, but like emotionally and like mentally. So like reading my book and making sure I'm getting enough rest and stuff like that. So like those are things that I will 1000%, that's like something I will 1000% be doing. Number five, obviously I mentioned this, journaling, getting all of that together and just continuing on with that, I think is going to be really positive and something I'm looking forward to doing. Okay, so that's like in general for the days, but then I have a couple things I'm a wee bit superstitious about for New Year's Eve. So New Year's Eve, I plan on being like, I'm going to be at my parents' house, but like I'm going to clean my space. Like we're going to clean everything off. It's going to be a very clean space going into the new year. I don't know what it is. I'm just going to clean my space. Also on New Year's Eve, like I will be dedicating my day to having fun Fun, 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 like in every single way. Like, you know what I mean? Like that is a day of fun. We are not stressed out about anything. We're not running any errands. We're not thinking about like schedules. Like it is purely a day of fun, like day to night, fun, fun, fun. And then on January 1st, I will not be cleaning in any way, shape, or form, 100% not sweeping the floor because it's a little superstitious. I know, I get it. I really do. But no, like, and then day of January 1st, another day of relaxation and fun and just, I want to have a great time. So those are things that I'm doing those days. So basically into the end of the year, it's giving journaling, hanging out with my friends, hanging out with my families, partying it up like it's 1999 and just keeping my space clean. And when I say like space, obviously I mean like a physical space, but like emotional space too, or like about how you're feeling like internally too, because everything out there is what it's going to be, but like you got to make sure like your shit's wrapped tight internally, and that's kind of like where the focus should be. And again, like I said this at the beginning of the episode, but like December 31st is not a full stop. Like the idea is that like these vibes continue on into the new year and just like they keep going, like no matter what, you know what I mean? Like this will continue. Like these same kind of habits and stuff should become a part of your like everyday life if it's not already. It's just like a little bit, I don't want to say more intense because that sounds scary, but like we're just working a little bit more overtime. We're just doing a little bit of overtime because we want to be creating our vision boards and like getting ready for this next phase of our lives. So that's that. So we talked a lot about that and like what I'm going to be doing, what I'm not going to be doing. But let's talk about like kind of, I don't want to say like how I can help, but like, you know, ideas that I have. And I mentioned this, like, you know, different kind of journal prompts. And I said that like I would be having like a few days of like focus and stuff like that. And I would be more than happy to like share some ideas like in little infographics on the Instagram, because I think like spreading the wealth is so necessary. So be on the lookout for that. I think I'm really excited for this transition. I think 2024 is going to be a really big year. Honestly think in between 2024 and 2026 is like going to be a really good period of time for me. I feel like this year, again, we're going back to astrology and all of that, but like I feel as if like I closed out a lot of cycles this year, and I'm like so excited for like the next few years. I'm obviously excited for the rest of my life as well, but I think like just spiritually, like I'm in a really good spot, and I'm really excited to see what continues. And I am just going to plug the playlist one more time, the Manifesting playlist that is on my Spotify. I have it linked in the link tree. Yes, I do. But for those of you who want it, my Spotify is Nobia Goodman 123. Feel free to check out all my other playlists. They're pretty good. I think they are. Whatever. Anyways, I like my playlist. I think the names are funky, fresh, cool. So yeah, feel free to check out that playlist. I try to keep it pretty updated. So keep listening. Manifest those good vibes. Like, you've got this. And I said this in the first episode, and I'm just going to finish out this section by saying this again, that like your spirituality is between you, your higher self, and God, whatever the universe, whatever's going on out there. Doesn't have to do with me. I can tell you guys what I'm doing, and I can give you guys advice. Definitely doesn't have to do with the TikTokers that are trying to cash a check at your convenience. And it doesn't have to do with like anybody else in your life. Like, it is truly about you. And I think like prioritize you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, this is all about you, babe. Like, and embrace that. Okay, so that's that. That's kind of the vision board. That's reflecting. Definitely going to be keeping the Instagram pretty updated. Like, I love this period of time. I think last year was the first year I also did the like 10 to 12 days of focus kind of moment. The years prior, I would do like a really big journal entry, like, you know, December 31st, and be like, okay, like I did what I need to do. But like, again, that felt stressful, and I was kind of like word vomiting. So I'm like, okay, like we can take this slowly. And I think for me, like, especially because I've been like really busy and I'm going to be traveling and all this other stuff, like I think this is ideal for me. So yeah, that's that. thanks for being here. Wishing you guys all the best. So many good vibes, so much love, so much joy, so much happiness coming your way. Yeah, like, and I want to spread that good energy because I think, one, it's important, and like that's what I like am trying to embody, and I think like we all could use a little bit of it. So usually right now I do an I'm rattled segment, things that like have rattled me. But instead of doing an I'm rattled, I'm going to do a what I'm looking forward to in 2024. Because because I want to. Yeah. So the number one thing I'm looking forward to is starting grad school and getting into grad school and doing all of that. So I'm really, really excited. I am excited for what I know I'm being like weirdly ominous about it. I have been in my like, I'm not sharing all of my goals with everybody era, and I know it sounds like a little like, okay, it's not that deep, like whatever, but I just feel as if like I don't find it necessary to share all of my goals with people. Like, you don't know what people's intentions are with your information. Like, not everybody that like is listening to you and listening to things you're saying is listening with good intentions, like with good intent, or even like listening in support of you. There are a lot of people that, like, not to sound like I said earlier, like paranoid, there's a lot of people that like are very good at pretending they care about you, but like their heart is not in it. And I just don't feel the need to like share everything with everybody. I've been like in that era. So I know this sounds a little ominous, but I'm really excited to get into grad school and to start grad school. Honestly, I miss going to school. I do enjoy being in the classroom. I'm really excited to study what I intend on studying, and I think it'll be great. It'll be a nice little career pivot, one, and two, like I'll just be able to enjoy what I do. So yeah, and I think like there's a lot of ways that I can combine like my personal interest and my academic interest and make a beautiful, prosperous career. So that's the vibe there. Next, I'm really excited to see like where my content goes, like not just podcast content, but also like my personal content, my TikTok, my stuff like that. I'm really excited to see it take off, and I'm excited to see what direction it takes off in. So I'm super, super excited for that. I am excited to continue spending more time with my friends and my family. I think this was like a really big year for making friends. I'm really proud of myself. Last year when I moved to Boston, I was like, I'm so damn miserable. I have barely any friends. I don't really know anybody. And this year, like, I really made an effort to like put myself out there. And I can like say now that like I have a solid friend group here, and I'm really happy about it. And like, I love them so much. I love all my friends. They make me so happy. I also I just absolutely love them. And I feel as if like I want to keep that energy up, but just continue like putting myself out there and making new friends, like, because it's doable. I've done it. It was hard, but I did it, and we're here. I also want to like continue maintaining my relationships with like my other friends that I don't live near. I have a bad habit of being like an out of sight, out of mind person. So I definitely had to make a conscious effort to be like, you know what, I need to reach out to people, even if they don't live in Boston. And I've gotten like, I've remained super close to a lot of friends, gotten closer and like reconnected with a lot of my old friends. And I'm really happy about that. Again, wanting to keep that energy. I think I'm at the age where like my friendships are really important to me. I want to build those genuine connections. And I think that like this year really, really showed me just how important my friendships are to me and like how much they mean to me. And especially even like my relationship with my family as well. Like I think this was a big year, and like the psychic, even this like, this is so funny, and like this isn't really pivotal to like what she told me about my future, but like she made a comment and was like, the people around you and like your friends and your family, they're all very protective of you. And I was like, oh, 1000%. Like, you have no idea. And it's just like, I don't know, like I think this year like kind of made me realize that, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So again, continuing to put effort into not only forming connections but maintaining connections I already have. Next, up. I want to travel more, and I do have plans for that, but it's going to be a little surprise. I won't share them with you guys yet. I'm really excited. If you know, you know. But yes, definitely traveling more. I did like a little bit of intercountry, like international, it's not international travel. I did go to Barbados, but like within the US is what I'm trying to say. But I definitely want to like get abroad, do some other things, and I do have plans for that. So don't you worry. It's just about the plans coming into fruition. So really excited for that. And so finally, when I get into grad school, there is a 99.99% chance that I will be leaving Boston. So this is definitely my last lease cycle here. I'm super excited to just finish out this era. This was really like, what a time to be alive. It was my first city post grad. Like, oh my God, this shit was hard, but I did it. And we're here, and I feel really good about it. I'm just ready to move on. And I remember like hating Boston, guys. Like, I mean, it's still not my favorite city in the world, but I hated it here. For like the first like 4 or 5 months I was here, I was just, all I was doing was trying to figure out how the hell I was going to get out of here. And then, I don't know, like kind of a switch flipped, and I was like, okay, like I need to like give this a chance. And I did. And like, honestly, like I've created like a little life here. Like I low-key get emotional talking about it because like it was so hard. Like, you know what I mean? But like I did it. And I'm really, really happy with like where I am. And like I said, it's not like my favorite city in like the whole world, but like, oh my God, I'm literally about to cry. This is so dramatic. Okay. Anyways, but it's like, I'm just really grateful for like the time I had here. Well, and I still have, I'm not leaving now, but like, I'm just really grateful that like I made it this far and that I'm doing this. But we are closing out this era. So this is going to be my last lease cycle here. And honestly, I don't even know where I'm moving at. I'm going to be honest. Like, I mean, obviously, like I have a general idea of where I'm probably going to end up, but I'm like super, super excited to like move to a new city. And I know I can do it. So I know it's going to be fun, and I know it's going to be great. And I know it's going to be groundbreaking. And like I said, just looking forward to in 2024, like we are entering a new era. Like I said this earlier in the episode, but I feel like I've closed out a lot of like spiritual cycles, personal cycles. Like we're done. Like I am truly moving and transitioning into like a really fun phase of my life. So I'm super excited. And yeah, I'm just excited for like the new era, all the things I mentioned, and everything in between. It's going to be a great time. All right, well, that's that. Yeah, like I said, this is the last episode of 2023. Very, very exciting times. Again, there's still going to be content on the Instagram, so don't worry about that. And the TikTok and the YouTube channel. Yeah, so you are going to get your content fixed. Don't worry about it. So really exciting. Again, really happy to be here. I am so glad I started this podcast. I feel that it's given me a chance to like have my little creative outlet, which is something I was craving. And it's also like, it's great to like pick your own brain, like if that makes sense. And I'm really excited for next year. We're going to have more guests on the pod. It's going to be a great time. Like we're going to enter a new year with the podcast, and it's going to be amazing. And I'm really, really excited. Like, thank you to everybody that listens or likes and subscribes or does anything of the sort. I'm super, super grateful that I was able to do this. And yeah, I'm just truly happy to be here. So this is, again, final episode of 2023. The next episode in the new year, you should expect that January 10th. I'm going to get back on the Wednesday schedule. Yeah, we did for the last couple episodes, we did a Friday moment, but I'm going to get back onto the Wednesday schedule. And yeah, so be on the lookout for that. Thank you again. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making it this far. Thank you for listening to me. I hope that everybody has a beautiful holiday season. I hope that your vision boards turn out beautifully. I hope that you are surrounded by love and happiness and joy. And I hope that in some way, shape, or form, I am able to contribute to that. And yeah, that's that. So I'll see y'all when I see you. Keep up with me for content. Remember to spill tea all day, learn more about yourself, ask the big questions, and remember not to take yourself too seriously in the process. Bye, guys.